Excellence Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine gwe tuli naye mu UK era nga ne documentary ye Bobi Wine the People's President nayo ekutte akabi. Mukwano gwange muganda wange buli omu ayayanira His Excellence Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine n'olunaku olwaleero His Excellence Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine azzemu okukyazibwa ku BBC. Congratulations Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine, webale nnyo mukwano gwaffe, webale nnyo mulwanyi waffe Namigi gwe tulina gwe tunuulidde Uganda eyina gwe bananga oli zaabu gye tuli. Tusiimye nnyo Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine ate n'ebigambo abyogedde. Bino nno bye biruma abangi baakuno, bino nno bye biruma bano abatalina kiddako, bino bye biruma abo abalowooza nti bategeera nnyo anti balaba nga His Excellence buli kyakula kitambula ate kigenda mu maaso, ensi yonna emutaddeko attention. Munnange ebyo biruma mukulu tebuhabulwa okufaako obufi, nenga ye President mumulabye ali ku BBC. Munnange ono ye President waffe gwe tulina ate atunda Uganda ffe. Njagala nkuwe embeera nga bweri nga Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine n'ebigambo ebirungi ate byayogedde ku BBC, nawe ofunemu ekyokuyiga olwo Uganda etambule. Muganda wange mukwano gwange akadde ke tulina ke kamukulembeze.
Now to talk about the film. You have not been allowed in this country for nearly a decade because of lyrics that you wrote when you were younger. What's changed? Why have you been allowed in?
Well, I wrote the lyrics and I sang them, and I took responsibility.
These were homophobic lyrics. These were lyrics suggesting that gay people should be fought, should be beaten. I mean, do you regret those lyrics?
Certainly we grow and we transform. I've always mentioned that I'm a product of very many second chances. And I want to be known for a leader that is respectful, inclusive for everybody. Of course, this is now the same thing that I am tussling out with General Museveni, who deliberately sponsored now the law that
the anti-homosexual bill, one of the strongest bills that gives some gay people potentially the death penalty.
Definitely. And I also want to mention that this law, General Museveni did not bring it in the interest of the people of Uganda, but it was brought to target the opposition, including myself, knowing that he can use it to crack down on anybody that is perceived to be friendly to that community.
But let me just ask you about this. Your party, the National Union platform, voted in favour of the law in its entirety.
Sure. But in my party, I have members of parliament that are working with General Museveni.
What's your view of this anti-homosexual law? You say it was introduced to get at you, to get at the opposition, but do you support it or do you oppose it?
It was brought targeting the opposition, and that means that anything that I say about that law puts not only me but even my loved ones in harm's way. That's why.
So that's why you refrain from taking a position. So even if I were to ask you if you did become president, would you repeal that law? Again, you would not answer.
I would be very cautious because I know that it was largely targeting us as the opposition, mainly myself.
Tulina His Excellence Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine, the elected president of Uganda. Essuubi lyange essuubi lyo mukwano gwange naye
the legal elected president by the majority of the Ugandan people. Allow me to welcome our president, our friend, our brother, His Excellency Robert Ssentamu Kyagulanyi. Thank you. Thank you.
Nze mbasaba tuwe mu ggwange tonaye nga tulowooza ng'abakulu, twewale n'okuyiga obuyisa bw'abo abafuzi abanjudde omululu, tuteme n'empende ezikuza eggwanga eppya lino erijjudde amabago. Saba mwejjukize emitima mwe Uganda ne Uganda, kiddemu kyogere nti ffe Uganda. Aba muno wakuliranye nti ffe Uganda. Kiddemu kimugambe ffe Uganda. We are the country, we are the future, we are the children. We are the youngest population in the world, we stand a chance. We are the leaders of the future, and the future is today. We are the leaders of the future, and the future is today. We are the leaders of the future, and the future is today. If we only come together, we can change our destiny. Thank you. People power! People power! Our power! People power! Our power! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. Thank you. What a pleasure. What a pleasure to be with you, brothers and sisters. God is good, and all the time. Our Muslim brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm very glad. I hope I'll be able to speak in English all through. I know you come from different ethnicities, different backgrounds, we speak different languages. But because it's called Abazungu Akozze, so every once in a while, every now and then when I go vernacular, please bear with me. But I'm very glad to be with you today, dear our community leader, Kojawa Nge Sebunkoma, Sebusanyu Senyo Kulaba, Father Patrick, Sebusanyu Senyo Kulaba, our diaspora overall leader, Dr. Kauma, my sister Ellen, our brothers and sisters, the leaders of the chapters, different chapters, our fellow Ugandans, and the friends of Uganda. I'm very, very honored to be addressing you today. When I came to America, I did not come to meet Ugandans. No. I was invited for a conference called the State of a Black World Conference in Washington. And I was going to address leaders, Pan-African leaders from all over the world. But I grabbed this opportunity to ensure that I interact with fellow Ugandans and friends of Uganda from different chapters. I've been in the US for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. We interacted with Ugandans in Washington. We interacted with Ugandans in Boston, Ugandans in New York yesterday, and here we are. Tomorrow we are going to Minnesota before I go back home. I saw it important to meet you, brothers and sisters, because you are important. As a matter of fact, I think you're much more important than you even recognize. You are the cream of Ugandans. Each Ugandan I see in the diaspora, and particularly here in America, I see you represent more than 1,000 Ugandans. Practically, financially, but most importantly, ideologically. You guys support so many Ugandans. You support Ugandans in your different families. But most importantly, you are the guys that supported our campaign. We never lacked anything. We never lacked food. We never lacked fuel. We carried out a superb campaign. And I'm glad to once again report to you that we won the election. So I'm not addressing you. But the last time I was here, it was a concert. Did I ever perform here?
No, 2019.
Yeah. The last time I was in the US, I'd come to perform, to make money as an artist. I'm here to address you as the president of Uganda. Nobody contends that, not even General 7. But again, I'm addressing you as your servant. Because for us, we believe in servant leadership. It is very important that we interact with Ugandans, not only those that are in the country, but you that are not in the country. Like my sister said, many of you, majority of you, are not here because you want, but because this is a country that provides what your minds deserve. I always say that we are first world citizens stuck in a third world country. It's not a third world country because it's poor. No, Uganda is not poor. Uganda is rich. Africa is rich, but Ugandans are poor. That and more is caused because of the leadership failure that is back home. So I find it important to connect with you, ladies and gentlemen, so we get to discuss our country, the past, the present, and the future. Most importantly, the future. All of you here, many of you are young, but there's going to come a time when you're 50, 60, 70. What kind of country are you going to go back to? Or even before you go back, what about the people that stayed home? So these and more are some of the things that I wanted us to discuss. I'm privileged to be talking to you because we cannot do this home. We cannot do this in our country. I was elected by millions of people to represent them, but I cannot be allowed to talk to the people of Uganda. No, I cannot. There are even laws that prohibit us from meeting to discuss the future of our country. You can meet 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people if you're meeting to get drunk and party the night away. But if you're meeting to discuss the future of Uganda, you are breaking the law. You are not allowed to meet 5 people unless the Inspector General of Police gives you permission. That is where we are. So I find it very, very useful to meet you. I know that I'm speaking to you, but I'm speaking to thousands, tens of thousands, or perhaps millions that are watching us online. This is the only opportunity that I get to send out this message and to interact with fellow Ugandans, because we cannot meet at home. The last time our members of parliament tried to meet people, you saw what happened. My brother Nyanzi is now crippled because he tried to lawfully meet our members. Honorable Susan Mugabe is in hospital. She was thanked by male soldiers and police officers. What is her crime? Meeting people that she represents in parliament. Just the other day, other female members of parliament, like I'm sure you've been watching, were humiliated on the streets because they dared to peacefully, non-violently, and unarmed express their dissatisfaction with the impunity that's going on home. So that is where we are, my brothers and sisters. Why do I need you? It's important that you don't just see me on social media or hear us from afar. Like I said the last time, many of you saw me physically. I was an artist. We were dancing the night away. I was making some money. I like to make money. I like to party. So, what makes me cut off my hair and put on these suits and come to talk to you in a formal way? I come to explain to you, brothers and sisters, that we are not in these things because we like them. We are trying to save our country. We are trying to change fortunes back home. These things that we are doing, my father should have done them. But because he did not, I am condemned to do them. And if I don't do this, I'll be condemning my children, my sons and daughters to do it. What are we about? We started out as a people power movement. People power is about restoring power to the people of Uganda. It's about making the people of Uganda, enabled to hold leaders accountable, like it is here in America. We've been taught time and again that leaders don't do the right thing because they're very good people. No. Biden does not do the right thing because he's a very good man. No. But because you don't bring nonsense to Americans. They have rights. And they hold you accountable. And they can kick you the hell out because they are the ones who put you in that power. So we are trying to empower Ugandans through the vote because it is provided by the law. Uganda has gone through so much, brothers and sisters. Through so much. Once upon a time, we were ruled by foreigners, by the British. The whites that came, took over our country for more than 60 years. Robbed our country, humiliated our people. So our grandfathers rose up. They said independence now. They pressured, they agitated, they mobilized, they organized, and we got independence. And like I was telling brothers and sisters in New York, that was a new day that had come. Our parents jubilated because their own sons and daughters had taken over. They knew that their country was rich, and they expected the wealth of their country to benefit them. A new day had come, although the celebrations did not last. As you know, we lost that. 1966, that is when the violence began. That is when the fighting began. That is when the human suffering started. It went on and on. We descended into dictatorship. One leader coming in forcefully and being kicked out forcefully. So in 1980, when there was an election and it was purportedly rigged, General Museveni mobilized our fathers, our mothers, our aunties, promising them fundamental change, telling them that if they get together, it is going to change.
Tweyanziza nnyo mukama waffe His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine n'ebigambo ebirungi ebyo n'obubaka obulungi bw'atwetikidde. Uganda eyawamu ye Uganda etambula, ate era Uganda eyawamu bannayuganda bangi gye tutunuulidde. Tulina essanyu olw'okuba nti tukuyina era tuwulira nga tuli b'amaanyi olw'okuba nga obaawo. Era tumanyi nti obuwanguzi bwaffe tebujja genda butyo. Tujja kutuuka one time Uganda ejja kununula, ejja kufuna obwenkanya abo bonna abalowooza nti basobola. Gwate ogenda balagako nti ate wayitawo nnyo. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine, His Excellency Deputy President of Uganda, gwe tuli naye baganda bange, mikwano gyange, ebintu abyogedde, buli kimu akikoze. Kakati abo abatamanya ngamba baba bagambayo ki? Ekyokwogera tebakiina, wabula ye omukulembeze waffe Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine ebyo byetugambe nti biteredde era nga buli kimu kitambulanga bwe yakibala. Tuli beesimu nnyo era tuli bamativu era tuwulira nga tulina amaanyi olw'okuba nti omukulembeze waffe ate ebigambo abyogeredde ddala nga bwe tubadde tubisuubira era nga bwe tubadde tubiraba. Tweyanziza nnyo.